So you want to become a penetration tester, but you have no idea where to start. Well, you are in luck because you are in the right video. In this video, I'm going to give you a clear, actionable, step-by-step guide to becoming a penetration tester from zero to hero. Hi, my name is Kyser Clark. I have over 6 years of experience in cybersecurity, and I currently work as a full-time penetration tester, also known as an ethical hacker, and I'm here to help you grow your hacking and cybersecurity knowledge. Before we cut into the meat of this video, I do want to make it very clear that there is an infinite number of paths to success when it comes to not only breaking into cybersecurity, but also into penetration testing. If you ask 100 different pen testers how they got their first pen testing job, you're going to get 100 different answers. And this is a variant of a path that I took. This isn't the exact steps that I took. I actually took all the lessons that I've learned along my journey and I've incorporated them into this video. So keep in mind that this is only a single path to success, and this is what I would recommend if I was starting out today. But by no means are you locked in to this one path, and this is not the only path to success. There are many different ways to break into your first pen testing job, so keep that in mind as you watch this video. Step number one, you need to commit to becoming a penetration tester. Now this step seems easy, but trust me, it is an important step. You have to understand that this path, this journey, is a long journey. It's going to take you multiple years to go from nothing to penetration tester. And once you understand that, you are already on the right track to success. Furthermore, you have to understand and you have to commit to continuous learning and lifelong learning. The moment you stop learning in this field, that is the moment that you will no longer be in this field. The field is constantly changing and you have to be very adaptable when you are working in this field. So understand that there is no coasting and there's no staying stagnant in cybersecurity. Lastly, you need to understand that there is going to be many setbacks, roadblocks, and overall the path is going to be a bumpy ride. You're not going to pass every certification on your first try. You're not going to understand every command, technology, and idea the first time you read it, the first time you watch it. You're going to have to repeat lessons multiple times over before you truly understand what's going on with the technology that you are working with. The good news is that anybody can learn this stuff. I'm a firm believer that anybody can learn any concept in cybersecurity as long as you're willing to dedicate the time, effort, energy into the topic. Now, some topics will come easier to you than others. However, don't expect any topic to come easy. Every expert was once a beginner that didn't understand any of this stuff. No one was born knowing the information. None of this stuff comes naturally to anybody. We all have to learn this, and we all start from nothing. So it's okay to be a beginner and it's okay to struggle. Just understand that that's part of the process and you will persevere as long as you don't give up. And that is one of the biggest things that you have to have when it comes to cybersecurity and penetration testing is you have to have resilience and you have to have a never quit attitude. And if you have that, then you're going to go very far in this field. Step number two, create a LinkedIn profile and use it consistently. So it's very common saying to say it's not what you know, it's who you know. And while you do need to know a lot about cybersecurity in order to land your first job, but you also have to have a network that supports that knowledge. And the most powerful networking tool in the modern day is LinkedIn. You can literally connect and communicate with millions and millions of people without even leaving your house. And it's such a powerful tool if you use it correctly. And I say use it correctly because it's absolutely a wrong way to use LinkedIn. Now, I can't dive into all the best practices for LinkedIn because we only have a limited amount of time for this video. But what I will say is that you want to make sure your profile is filled out all the way and you want to post consistently. You don't need to be a content creator like me. However, every time you complete a training or you get a badge from Try Hack Me or Hack the Box Academy or any other learning platform, you get a certificate of completion. Anytime you do any of that, take the picture, post it on LinkedIn, and then write about it. Like, what did you learn? Did you have fun? Did you not have fun? Do you think it's worth pursuing? And just kind of write the journey for that particular thing that you learned. That same thing applies to certifications. So if you get a certification, certifications are, in my opinion, the number one way to grow your LinkedIn network, because people are highly interested in connecting with certified and knowledgeable individuals. And when you post about your certification, write the entire learning journey, like start from like, hey, this is, why I decided to go for this certification. Here's where I struggled. Here's what I learned. Here's, why I had fun. Here's why I didn't have fun. Here's the resources I use. Thank you, instructor A, B, and C. Thank you, author A, B, and C. Whatever resources you use, just write a story on that certification journey, and people will like that. That resonates with people so much. Those are the most valuable posts on LinkedIn, and it's incredibly valuable real estate on your timeline, and you definitely don't want to miss that. And you want to post as much as you possibly can. However, at the bare minimum, post once a week. That is what I would consider consistent. As long as you're posting once a week, do more if you can, but at bare minimum, once a week. And you should have a post every single week at least, because you're going to be spending a lot of time in the labs and you're going to be learning a lot. So always talk about your learning journey, and that's going to resonate with a lot of people, and that's going to impress hiring managers and recruiters. One of the worst mistakes you can make is not posting on LinkedIn until you need a job. If you are posting on LinkedIn only when you need a job, that is the absolute worst time to post on LinkedIn, right? Everyone's gonna see the post and be like, who the heck's this guy? Like, we don't know this guy. But when you post consistently, day in, day out, week by week, people will notice that. And then when it's time for you to ask for a job, they're gonna be like, wow, this guy's been working so hard in this field, and he's given us so much valuable content. He's shared his knowledge with everybody. Like, we want to work with this guy. And that's actually exactly what happened to me. I was posting on every single week. Every time I pwned, I hacked the box machine, and that resonated with a lot of people. And one person reached out to me and said, hey, I noticed you put your open to work banner up, and I like the posts that you make. You're very knowledgeable, and I think you have what it takes to be a pen tester in the field. I'm not a hiring manager, but I can refer you if you want. And basically, I give this person my resume, and next thing I know, I got a call from the hiring manager, and I got hired within 3 weeks of putting my open to work banner up. All because I post consistently, right? I post valuable content all the time, and people know I take the cybersecurity field and penetration testing extremely seriously because I post all the time. And you can do the same thing, right? It just takes one post every single day, or maybe every other day. But the more you post, the more of a reputation you're going to get. The higher your reputation, the more likely you are going to find a job in the field. And while you're doing all that, you want to avoid some common pitfalls. So for starters, you never ever want to complain. Even if you've been rejected 7,000 times, even if you went through the 20th round of interviews and then the company just ghosted you out of nowhere, do not complain about that. Yeah, it sucks. I feel you, but do not complain about that. And if you do complain about that, you'll see other people do it. You'll see a lot of attention to those kinds of posts, and there's a lot of sympathy that gets thrown your way. But in my humble opinion, I don't think that's very good attention, right? And the reason why I don't think it's good attention is because business is very competitive. And because it's very competitive, businesses only hire winners. They do not hire losers. And when you complain, that is loser mentality. Do not complain. Do not engage in loser mentality, because companies, hiring managers, recruiters, they only hire winners. And you want to not appear like a loser, and you want to appear like a winner, right? And it could be the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and you can complain about it. Just don't do it. Do not complain about it. People will feel sorry for you. But trust me when I say this, you aren't impressing the people that you are trying to impress. Step number 3, create a TryHackMe account and commit to using TryHackMe for an hour a day, every single day. And a goal that I had was to get the 365-day streak badge, which is a monster of an achievement, but it was well worth it. And it definitely helped me go very far in this field with doing an hour a day on TryHackMe. And I did it for like well over 2 years before I even completed everything. So it is a long process, but it's a process worth doing. You want to start with the intro to cybersecurity and pre-security learning paths. And once you get all those general cybersecurity learning paths completed, you want to start migrating into the pen testing and offensive security learning paths and red teaming learning paths. And then once you complete all the pen testing and red teaming paths, you're going to want to do at least one cyber defense / blue team learning path. So there's 3 that I would recommend. It would be the cyber defense learning path, the cybersecurity engineer learning path, or the SOC level 1 learning path. Do at least one blue teaming path in full for 2 reasons. Even as a pen tester, you still want to understand what the blue team does. You want to understand the other side of the cybersecurity coin, even as a pen tester. And then another reason why you should do it is because you actually might like it more. So not everybody has the aptitude to be a pen tester, and not everybody finds it fulfilling, right? So you might actually like the blue team more. So I'm not trying to discourage you from being a pen tester. That's what this video is all about, is how to become a pen tester. But just know that, you know, there's many people out there that find the blue team side of things way more fulfilling than the red team side of things. To add icing on the cake and a cherry on top, there's a way more blue teaming jobs out there anyways, and there's actually a higher pay ceiling. So there's a lot of benefits in becoming a blue teamer. If you're looking to be a pen tester, great, but just know that you should keep an open mind and try at least a little bit in the cyber defense for those reasons I just stated. Once you complete all of the pen testing learning paths in a single blue teaming learning path on Try Hack Me, you're going to want to migrate into Hack the Box or Hack the Box Academy. We're going to call this step 3B. And basically what I did was, you know, I did all the stuff on Try Hack Me, and then I graduated to Hack the Box, and then I converted daily Try Hack Me to weekly Hack the Box machines, because at that point you're going to start finding Try Hack Me is a little bit on the easier side. So a very hard room on Try Hack Me is actually easier than easy box on Hack the Box. So Hack the Box is, I would say, significantly harder, but it's just a natural progression. So once you complete all your stuff on Try Hack Me, you're going to replace daily Try Hack Me with weekly Hack the Box. Step number 4, pursue entry level certifications, and you're going to want to do this step simultaneously with step 3. So like I said, you want to do daily Try Hack Me for an hour every single day. While you're doing that, you want to do daily studies for your certifications for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. However many hours you can do, the more the better. And the certifications that I recommend are in this order: the CompTIA A+, the CompTIA Network Plus, the CompTIA Security Plus, and the CompTIA Pentest Plus. Now, full disclosure here, I do not have the CompTIA A+, and the reason why I don't have it is because when I was in the United States Air Force going through my Client Systems Technician Technical School, I didn't need to get A+, I had to get Security Plus as a first certification. But before I even got Security Plus, they put me through a Fundamentals of Computing course, which is basically the equivalent of a CompTIA A+ certification. So because of that, I was able to skip the CompTIA A+ certification, but I still had the A+ knowledge because I went through the course prior to Security Plus. So you can also skip A+ if you have some kind of foundations in IT, or if you're already working in a help desk role, or if you have some kind of formalized computer course training, you can skip the A+ if you want. And like I said, I did go straight to Security Plus, and I've also seen dozens, maybe even hundreds of people go straight to Security Plus. It is possible to get that as a first certification. However, I do not recommend it. I do recommend getting the Network Plus first, and I do have the CompTIA Network Plus. I did go back and get the Network Plus. Just because you have the CompTIA Security Plus doesn't necessarily mean that you have Network Plus knowledge, because Network Plus is a lot different than Security Plus, and there's a lot of overlap, but there is a lot of foundational knowledge in the Network Plus that you absolutely should not skip over, and I highly recommend doing Network Plus first and then Security Plus next. And then to cap off the cybersecurity foundational certifications, you want to pursue the CompTIA Pentest Plus. It's a fairly obvious one. It's, you know, the entry level to pen testing, and I think it's a good start into pen testing for the fundamentals for pen testing, right? It's not going to make you a pen tester by any means, right? It doesn't make you an ethical hacker at all. It's not hands-on enough for that. However, it introduces you to a lot of the foundational concepts that are absolutely going to play a pivotal role into your future certifications and your future career. And if you are interested in government work or you already have a security clearance, you definitely want to get the EC Council Certified Ethical Hacker, that is the CEH. Now, I would recommend avoiding the CEH if you do not have an interest in government work. However, the government puts a high stake on the CEH. They are highly interested in that certification. For some reason, I don't agree with it because I don't think it's a very good certification. I think the PenTest Plus is actually better, and I think it teaches you more, and it's actually way cheaper. So overall, I think the PenTest Plus is better than the CEH, which is why I recommend it. However, the government values the CEH way more than PenTest Plus, and the CEH is actually the third most in-demand pen testing certification on the market. So, like I said, if you're interested in government work, get the CEH. If you're not interested or you're not able to get a security clearance, then the CEH is something that you probably don't want to get. Step number 5, apply for your first IT job if you don't already have one. So at this point in the path, you are absolutely qualified for help desk jobs and system administrator jobs, and you should definitely be applying for those types of jobs if you don't already have one. And you might even be able to land a cybersecurity analyst job if you're connected with the right people. If you're coming from a different field and you are going for your first help desk job or a system administrator job, it's a very good chance that you're going to take a pay cut to do that, but in the end, it is absolutely worth taking that pay cut in the long run, because hiring manager recruiters find help desk and system administrator experience invaluable. System administrators and help desk people oftentimes make the best penetration testers. That's where my background is, help desk and system administrator, and that's actually one of the reasons that helped me get my first pen testing job. So I think those two positions are probably the best first positions you can get in IT. Keep in mind, cybersecurity, generally speaking, isn't for beginners. There's really no entry-level jobs in cybersecurity. It's kind of a bit of a hot take, but it's agreed upon by enough people to say that, you probably more than likely have to get some kind of IT job before you get your first cybersecurity job. And like I said, you might be able to get your first cybersecurity analyst job at this point in time, but I wouldn't hold your breath and count on it. You're more likely to find success if you look for an IT role in system administration or help desk, and maybe even a network engineer. You might be able to get a network engineer job with that Network Plus. Maybe they're really looking for a CCNA certification for network engineer, but if you can get a network engineer job, that's even a good place to start as well. Moral of the story is, you want to get some kind of IT job, and you want to get experience in the field before you can really land your first pen testing job, because like I said, most hiring managers, recruiters, they want to have some kind of IT experience under your belt before they bring you in as a full-time pen tester. If you're enjoying the video so far, do me a favor and like the video and subscribe for more hacking and cybersecurity content. Step number 6, you want to learn any, and I mean any, programming language. So just choose whatever programming language suits your fancy. For me personally, I chose Python because it's extremely popular and it's said to be one of the easier ones to learn. And overall, it was definitely a very good decision for me to actually take the time and do a 100 days of code challenge. If you're interested in my 100 days of code challenge, check out my blog where I write all about it. But overall, you want to be able to think like a programmer, and you want to be able to write your own scripts, and you want to be able to modify other people's scripts. And if you want to get into advanced pen testing, you're gonna have to know how to write your own exploits. And overall, having scripting and coding experience is invaluable, and most companies won't even hire you if you don't know how to program. So it's an essential skill to becoming an ethical hacker or a penetration tester. Step number 7, you want to make sure you have a firm grasp on Linux if you don't already have a firm grasp on Linux. So you might have a good firm grasp on Linux if you've been doing daily try and hack me, but if you still feel fuzzy in Linux or you just want to learn more, you could take a course or even go for a certification in Linux. If you want to learn more about how to learn Linux, I have an entire video dedicated to how to learn Linux right here. But overall, you're going to be intimately familiar with Linux at this point in your journey, and it's critical to know how the operating system works, and you want to make sure that you are comfortable, extremely comfortable in the command line in Linux, because you're going to be running many commands from this point forward. Step number 8, you want to start going after intermediate certification. So for starters, you want to choose between either the INE Security Junior Penetration Tester, that's the eJPT, or the TCM Security Practical Junior Penetration Tester. Now you can't go wrong with either one of these certs. However, my personal recommendation to you is to go TCM Security Practical Junior Penetration Tester, which might sound weird because I don't have that certification and I actually have the eJPT. And the reason why I recommend TCM Security over eJPT is for a few reasons. For starters, the eJPT has multiple choice questions, it has fill in blank questions, and it has flags to capture. Furthermore, it doesn't require a report. And lastly, it expires after 3 years. Compare that to the PWPA that has 0 flags to capture, 0 fill in blank questions, 0 model choice questions, requires a report, and is good for life. And they're both about the same price. So overall, I think the TCM Security certification provides more value than the INE Security certification. In the eJPT's defense, I will say that you can't get those multiple choice question answers by Googling, and it's very unlikely that you'll guess. The only way to get the answers to those is to actually hack into something to get the answer. Fill in the blanks the same way. You can't just guess your way through that or do a quick Google search to get the answer. You actually have to hack into something. But overall, it's not as real world realistic compared to the TCM security certifications. Furthermore, even though I don't have a PWPA, I do have a PWPA, that's the Practical Web Penetration Tester Associate, which is the equivalent to the PWPA just on the web app side of things. And overall, I was very impressed with the way that certification was. It's, like I said, very real world. It's actually the most real world certification that I've ever gotten, right? There's no flags to capture. It's like they give you an application to hack into and you have to write a report on it just like it would be in the real world. And overall, I do think that between TCM Security and INE, I think the courses are very valuable, right? I do use my eJPT notes every single day, and I did learn a lot through that course, and the course is fantastic. But the biggest thing with the certifications between TCM and INE Security is that good for life thing, right? And normally I don't mind certs when they expire, but INE Security, the biggest quarrel I have with it is the only way to renew the certification is to do the exam again. So cert companies like CompTIA or IAC2, you can renew your certification by getting a higher level certification or by getting other industry recognized certifications, right? Those credits carry over. But INE Security, they don't accept credits from other vendors, and they don't even allow you to get a higher level certification in their own network of certifications to renew the lower certification. So it doesn't make sense to pay the $200, $250, whatever it is, to renew that certification. And if I would have went TCM Security, which I couldn't have at the time because the TCM Security Practical Junior Pentester didn't exist at the time I did the eJPT, but if it did, I definitely would have regretted my decision going the eJPT route. So even though I have the eJPT and I don't have the PWPA, I recommend the PWPA because, like I said, I do actually have experience and I do actually have a TCM security certification in a similar domain. After you get either the eJPT or the PWPA, you want to choose one or the other. I don't think you need or should go after both of them. You really do want to pick one or the other because after you get one, you're going to have more than enough knowledge to go after either the OffSec Certified Professional, that's the OSCP, the Hack the Box CPTS, that is the Certified Penetration Testing Specialist, or the TCM Security PNPT, that's the Practical Network Penetration Tester. Now, you really can't go wrong with either one of these certifications, and there's pros and cons to all of them. Personally, I went with the OSCP. Matter of fact, out of all these certifications, it's the only one that I actually have. And the reason why I went for the OSCP is simply because it is the most in-demand penetration testing certification on the market today, and hiring managers and recruiters are absolutely looking for OSCP candidates. However, the OSCP's biggest drawback is the price is extremely expensive, so it's out of a lot of people's budgets. Compare that to the TCM Security PNPT, which is way more affordable, and honestly, it's probably going to be a lot more realistic because, like I said earlier, I do have a TCM, PWPA, and that was way more realistic than all my OffSec certs. However, it was easier than the OffSec certs, but then again, the PMPT, you know, it might be the same level of difficulty, might be slightly easier, might be slightly harder. I do not know on the difficulty when it comes to that course and certification. However, what I do know is that the OSCP try harder mantra is real, and it's going to be an incredibly difficult course because they don't handhold you through the course. They kind of expect you to figure some things out by yourself, and that's where the learning and the growth happens. Whereas TCM security is going to be a little bit more hand-holding. It's going to give you pretty much everything you need, whereas OffSec, it's like it doesn't actually give you everything you need, even though they say they give you everything. You're going to have to figure some stuff out on your own. So in that sense, I do think the OCP might be a little bit harder than the TCM PNPT, but like I said, I don't have the PNPT yet, so I can't confirm that. That's just a hunch that I have. And then for as far as the Hack-the-Box CPTS, I don't have that certification, and I've only done a partial bit of the training. Overall, I've heard that it's actually the hardest certification. Matter of fact, I have a video actually talking about how the CPTS is the hardest certification of the bunch, so that's worth noting. So in conclusion, the way that I interpret this is TCM security, most budget friendly, best bang for your buck, highly realistic. CPTS, good bang for your buck, extremely difficult. It's going to make you a really good pen tester in the field. OSCP, probably going to be extremely difficult when it comes to the course. The exam might be a little bit easier than CPTS, and it's going to give you the most industry recognition. So you can't go wrong with either one of these. You have to pick, you know, what you value the most, and you can actually get 1, 2, or even all 3 of these. You can't really go wrong with having multiple of these because there's, like I said, pros and cons to all of them. And we're going to get into other certifications here in a little bit, but overall, you want to just pick one for now, finish it, get it, and then move on to the next step. Step number 9, you want to start applying for penetration testing jobs. Congratulations, you've done it at this point in time. You are now qualified, in my opinion, to become a full-time penetration tester. Now, keep in mind that just with one of the certifications I just mentioned, this OSCP, CPTS, or the PNPT, just because you have one of those doesn't mean you're not going to get rejected, right? Because there's a lot of people that also have those certifications that are applying to the same jobs as you. So there is a very high chance that you are going to get beat out for many of the positions that you apply for. However, do not get discouraged. You have to keep applying and you will find a job eventually, as long as you have the right attitude and you're not complaining on LinkedIn about not being able to find a job, and you continuously learn and you're adding some other training under your belt while you're searching for a job, and you're applying job search best practices. So I'm not going to cover everything in this video, but overall, you want to learn how to write a resume, you want to learn how to write a cover letter, you want to learn how to conduct yourself in an interview, you want to learn how to advertise yourself to recruiters and hiring managers on social media and in the interview itself. You want to learn some common technical interview questions, and overall you want to have the whole job search skill set under your skill sets, because it is a skill set in itself and it's something that you need to take time to learn. So you can learn the stuff. There's plenty of resources online. There's even full books written on how to do interviews and how to write resumes and all this stuff. But like I said, that's out of the scope of this video. Just know that there's resources out there to help you, land jobs, because this is where the soft skills come in handy. Actually, matter of fact, I do have a video on soft skills, so you can check that out. Definitely click and check that out. But overall, finding a job is a skill set in itself, and just because you have all the technical abilities in the world doesn't mean you're going to get hired. So soft skills are incredibly important at this stage in your path. Step number 10, you have the choice between going after other intermediate certifications, going after advanced certifications, or going after a web app certifications. So to continue where we left off, intermediate certifications, I told you to get the OSCP, the CPTS, or the PNPT. Get one of them, start applying for jobs, and as you're applying for jobs, or even after you get your first job, you can go after, you know, the ones that you didn't go after. So if you got an OSCP like me, maybe your second cert might be a CPTS or a PNPT, you know, pick whatever one that suits your fancy. The next option you have is to pursue advanced certification. So you can take your OSCP and go the next level up and go OSEP, the OFSEC Experienced Penetration Tester, or you can go after the other 300 level OFSEC certifications such as the OSED, OFSEC Exploit Developer, or the OSWE, OFSEC Web Expert. Hacktobox also created a new expert level certification for network pen testers. It's the Certified Active Directory Penetration Testing Expert. It's the CAPE or CAPE. So that is absolutely worth pursuing after you get a CPTS. And then last but not least, another option you have at this stage in your journey is to pursue web application penetration testing certifications. And the certification that I pursued and eventually got was the OSWA. That's the OFSEC Web Assessor. And I actually landed my job without having that certification, but I did fail it twice when I landed it. Matter of fact, I actually failed the OSWA for the second time the day I signed the job offer for my current company. However, even though I didn't have the certification, I still learned a ton, and everything that I learned in that course and in that certification absolutely played a vital role in the technical interview for my current job, because they needed both network pen testing and web app pen testing, and the fact that I was able to do both made me a very good candidate to fill the role that they needed to fill. With that being said, you don't need to have web app experience. Like, there's plenty of people out there who are strictly network pen testers. There are plenty of people out there who are strictly web app pen testers. However, if you have both skill sets, it actually opens up more doors for you, which is why I pursued that for my career. But just remember, a jack of all trades is a master of none. So I'm not a master at network pen testing, and I'm not a master at web app pen testing. However, I have a good familiarity with both of them. Other web application and penetration testing certifications that you want to consider at this stage are the TCM Security Practical Web Pentest Associate, which is what I already mentioned earlier, and that's what I have, and I couldn't recommend it enough. It's a very good entry-level web pen testing certification, and after you get that, you might want to consider going after the Practical Web Pentest Professional, which is the next level up for TCM Security Web App Pen Testing. And you can also even consider the Hacktobox Certified Bug Bounty Hunter. It's a CBBH. Or if you were feeling really frisky, go for their expert level web pen testing cert, which is the Advanced Certified Web Exploitation Expert. That's a CWEE. Which I would not recommend going for that right away. I would probably get a CBBH before you go after that one. Keep in mind, I don't have any of those certifications other than the OSWA and the Practical Web Pentest Associate. Keep in mind that at this stage in the path, that this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to certifications. These are the certifications that I've either A, personally obtained, or B, something that I have on my radar, something that I'm eyeballing, and certifications that I would like to get in the future. And just because it makes sense for my career doesn't mean it makes sense for your career. There's actually 400 cybersecurity certifications overall, and it's impossible for anybody to get all of them. The goal really is to get 1 or 2 certifications at every level. So for example, get 1 or 2 entry-level certifications, 1 or 2 foundation level certifications, 1 or 2 intermediate certifications, 1 or 2 advanced certifications, 1 or 2 expert level certifications. And you kind of want to just, you know, put a couple bricks in each category, and it doesn't make sense to get every single certification in a particular category. Really just 1 or 2 in each category is all you need to be effective. And keep in mind that there are tons of people in this field who are working and are all-stars without any certifications. So certifications, while they do help, they are not the end-all be-all. Really what you're after are the skill sets, but I do think certifications help bring credit to your reputation and help you build your skill sets at the same time. Also, keep in mind and definitely be on the lookout for pivots. So just because you set a path for yourself doesn't mean that's the path you're going to take. I have set so many different paths. I've made so many different 5-year plans, and I don't think a single one of my 5-year plans have came to fruition, right? I have gotten most of my 5-year plan completed, but my 5 years almost never goes exactly how I planned it. Matter of fact, I can't even get a single year exactly how I planned it, right? Every year I set some goals for myself, and sometimes I don't meet some of the goals, and then sometimes I obtain certifications that I didn't even plan on getting, just because it just made sense to go after that one certification one way or another. So definitely be flexible as you progress in this journey, and nothing is set in stone, right? This path that I laid out for you is a good path to take, but keep in mind that you want to be flexible and agile when it comes to choosing what training to do, what certifications to get, and how you want to progress in your career. This is just a guideline, and definitely feel free to mold it as you see fit. And that is probably the number one skill set you can have, is being flexible and adaptable, and not sticking to the rules that are set in stone per se. So to recap, what I recommend to becoming a penetration tester is this. Step number 1, decide and commit you want to become a penetration tester. Step number 2, create a LinkedIn profile, build your profile up, and build your LinkedIn network. Step number 3, do try hack me every single day for an hour a day. And then after you complete all the pen testing and red teaming learning paths on Try Hack Me, you want to graduate to weekly Hack the Box. Step number 4, start pursuing foundational certifications. And while you're pursuing those foundational certifications, you want to still be doing daily Try Hack Me. So you should be doing daily Try Hack Me and foundational certifications at the same exact time. And the foundational certifications I recommend are CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and Pentest Plus. Step number 5, get any IT or cybersecurity job that you can if you don't already have one. So at this point, you should be qualified for entry-level help desk and system administrator roles, and you should definitely be pursuing that type of work if you don't already have that kind of job under your belt. Step number 6, learn a programming language. It doesn't matter which one. I chose Python, and that's what is a very good option, but you can't go wrong with any programming language. Step number 7, make sure you understand Linux. If you don't understand Linux and you're not intimately familiar with the command line, take a Linux course or a Linux certification. Step number 8, start pursuing intermediate certifications. Start with the eJPT or the PWPA, and after you get one of those 2 certifications, you want to pursue either the OSCP, the PMPT, or the CPTS. Step number 9, at this point, in my opinion, you are qualified to be a penetration tester full-time, and you want to start pursuing jobs. So learn how to write resumes, learn how to write cover letters, learn how to conduct interviews, and learn how to sell yourself to recruiters and hiring managers. Step number 10, while you're looking for a job, or even after you land your first pen testing job, you want to either pursue advanced certifications, pursue other intermediate certifications, or start pursuing web app certifications. At this point, you can kind of choose your own adventure, and you really can't go wrong as long as you're learning something. So step number 10, continue learning while you're looking for a job and after you get your first job. And if you do that, I do think you're gonna find success. So there you have it. That is my full path to becoming a penetration tester. Keep in mind that this is only a single path, and this is my opinion. So if you disagree with me, feel free to disagree with me down in the comments. If you think I could have done better, or if you recommend alternate paths, definitely leave a comment and help your fellow cybersecurity enthusiasts down in the comments. We are all striving to become better, and the comments is a great place to help people out. And if you disagree with me, feel free to disagree with me, and I might have overlooked something, and if I did, let me know, and I will apply that line of thinking into future videos, because I'm definitely not the absolute authority figure on this, because like I said, this is one of many paths. Speaking of one of many paths, I did mention that this is a variant of the path that I took. So if you're interested in my exact path from system administrator to pen tester, you definitely have to check out this video right here. And one of my favorite videos I ever made, because it shows my exact journey that I took and all the struggles that came with it. So click and watch now.